Okay, good morning everybody. It's Wing Rider on the Gold Wing. The last videos that I did were, I think a couple of them were on the restoration of my 1990 Honda PC800. I stripped all the panels off of it to get painted, and they're at a friend of mine has a body shop, and they're at his body shop in Madison, Florida here. So I got a beautiful day to ride. It's a Wednesday, about just shy of 10 a.m. on a Wednesday. I think it's the 17th. I don't keep track, but beautiful day to ride. So let's see, 81 degrees. Man, it's nice. So I got the Gold Wing out, and I'm going to ride to the body shop and check on the progress of the parts. Last time I talked to my painter, he said that he had all the red parts were primed. This bike is two-tone, red on top and silver on the bottom, or a grayish on the bottom. I forget what Honda calls it, but anyway, Griffin gray, and then the top is Candy Glory red. So that's about what my 2012 wing is. So, but anyway, he had all the red parts primed, so I put, primed, and I don't expect them to be painted yet. But I'll keep you updated on the progress of that restoration. I'm going to go see if he's there this morning. He said he was going to have part of them done last Friday, but he's falling behind because he had a big order, a bunch of school buses that the county wanted worked on. Some fiberglass work on the hood. The mirrors were cracking off these brand new school buses, and he had about 15 of them to do, so I told him go ahead. Not a big deal. But I am anxious to get back to work, and I'm going to take my time putting it back together because it is going to be like glass. Nice, beautiful paint job. Progressive Insurance, that's what I got on my wing here. I even have insurance on my PC800, even though you don't have to in Florida. It's good to have it because the law has a way of working around that and getting you anyway. There's Democratic liberal BS kind of thinking. You're not required to have insurance on a motorcycle in the state of Florida if it's paid for anyway. My 1990 Honda Pacific Coast is paid for. Obviously I bought it, but I went and got the minimum amount of insurance. Progressive's like $3 a month, but anyway, in Florida anyway, if you get into an accident, even if it's not your fault, on a motorcycle, if you don't have insurance, you can be charged. They even have your license suspended, which is a bunch of BS. But I'm, $3 a month from Progressive. I said, what the hell, And well, I've got insurance on all my stuff. Anyway, I'm on my way. Mainly just wanted to get out and ride the wing. Beautiful day today, and I rode to look at a motorcycle in a bike shop in Valdosta, Georgia on Saturday. It was a 1983 Honda CB900 Custom, and I thought I wanted one of them back after out of high school. I was starting to work, and man, I wanted one of them, but I couldn't afford one back then. And I'm also looking at one I saw on Craigslist that is a much better deal. This one is a 1983 Honda V65 Magna. Now, for any bike enthusiast my age, in your 50s or 40s, if you remember back in 1983, Honda came out with this commercial with this V65 Magna, and there was a guy on it burning out and taking off down the track, and they said this will soon be the fastest production bike in America. in the world. And I said, this will soon be the fastest production bike on the planet, is what he said. And for those of you who are post 80s and your sport bikers, your Ninjas and all that, back in the early 80s, this was the sport bike. It registered 160 miles per hour. It's a V4 cylinder, nice looking bike. But that was the sport bike of the day, and I wanted one of those, man. I thought, man, but I couldn't afford it. So now that I can afford them, I like the bikes from the 80s. And those are two that I'm looking at. The guy wants too much for the CB900 Custom, but I gave him a solid cash offer, and I'm just waiting. It's been sitting in this bike shop for 4 years. Apparently the guy's not very anxious to sell it because he wants too much, and it's just sitting there and he won't come down on his price. So I gave him a cash offer. I went on Kelley Blue Book Value for Motorcycles and saw what it was worth, and that's what I offered him. Now the V65 Magna, it looks like brand new. This guy said it's been garage kept. It changed oil every 1,000 miles. The pictures, 4 of them, look beautiful. And it runs, he said it runs sweet. He wants $1,000 for it. I thought, well, hell, I'll give him $1,000. Hell, I got that in my pocket right now. Shit, excuse my French. So I left a number yesterday and this morning for the guy. Apparently he's a busy guy or something. Anyway, see if he calls me back. It's about 60 miles away from where I live is where that one is. And for $1,000, that's a decent price for that bike, because I checked Kelley Blue Book Value on that bike too. And that V65 Magna is rare. And in that good a shape, baby, for $1,000. The Blue Book Value, that's about what it was, so they're not asking too much. So I'm checking out 2 bikes right now. I just love motorcycles, and I love the vintage iron from the 80s, early 80s. That's, you know, I come out of high school in 82, and I had a Honda CB550, an old used Honda CB550 that I rode. A 1969 POS Chevrolet pickup truck that I loved. But when you're 18, 19 years old, you're proud of your POS pickup truck. Anyway, but things changed. I found a good career and retired not too long ago, so I have the cash. Now I can afford these things now, but I'm always looking for vintage bikes that are in decent shape, like the ones that I wanted. Not a whole lot of them. I'm not into Harleys, or there's a lot of them I'm not into, but these old Hondas, like that CB900 Custom or CB900F or the V65 Magna 1983s. That's the kind of stuff I'd loved. I would get into that. The old Suzuki GS models, I like those. I like the Hondas better. But anyway, it's warming up 86 degrees. It feels warm sitting here because there's no wind, and my left arm used to be twice as dark as my right. They called it the trooper's tan. We called it. I'm a retired state trooper, and that left arm in the window, you know, with the sun shining through that window in the car, the left arm would get twice as much tan as the right. Now they're kind of evened out, because I spend a lot of time on the bike. I like, you know, I ride every chance I get. I can't get enough motorcycling. And for those of you who are motorcycle enthusiasts, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you who do not ride, I can't explain it. You have to get on a bike and ride. But then again, if you're 30, 40, 50, if you've never ridden, you can't just jump on a bike and ride. It doesn't work that way. I've been riding since I was a little kid. I raced motocross and enduro back in the early 80s. So you can't just one day I want to go buy me a bike, you know, after you retire 50 years old, and go to the Honda dealer and buy a bike and ride it off. You'll probably die before you get out of the parking lot. But you can start out small, smaller bikes. So you can't jump on a Goldwing and just go, that's for sure. The police! Well, I'm sitting there. Anyway, I'm going to cut this video off just as soon. I'm going to pull up to the bike to the body shop first. There's a guy here at the entrance. There's another business. He customizes and sells AR-15s and other weapons. But, yep, Harvey's there. My painter. He is there. But I know he hadn't got my parts painted. They're only primed. So let me go up here in this driveway here. Be careful with this 1,000-pound Goldwing on this pine straw. I think his painter's been out this week or something. I don't know for sure. Anyway, Wing Rider.